Metropolitan and non-metropolitan counties are one of the 4 levels of subdivisions of England used for the purposes of local government outside Greater London and the Isles of Scilly. As originally constituted, the metropolitan and non-metropolitan counties each consisted of multiple districts, had a county council and were also the counties for the purposes of lieutenancies. Later changes in legislation during the 1980s and 1990s have allowed counties without county councils and unitary authority, counties of a single district. Counties for the purposes of lieutenancies are now defined separately, based on the metropolitan and non-metropolitan counties. In 2009, there were further structural changes in some areas, resulting in a total of 83 metropolitan and non-metropolitan counties. These 83 counties collectively consist of 292 districts or district-level subdivisions, i.e., 36 metropolitan boroughs and 256 non-metropolitan districts of Berkshire, which is a non-metropolitan county with no county council, and the remaining 49 are unitary authorities that have non-metropolitan county status. Current metropolitan and non-metropolitan counties of England. Metropolitan county. Non-metropolitan county with no county council. **** non-metropolitan county with county council. ** non-metropolitan county that is also a unitary authority, administrative area, and region. The counties typically have populations of 1.2 to 2.8 million. The county councils of these were abolished in 1986, but the counties themselves still exist legally. They are used for some administrative and geographic purposes, and are still ceremonial counties. Most of the powers that the former county councils had were devolved to their metropolitan boroughs, which are now in effect unitary authorities. However, some functions are still run jointly on a metropolitan county-wide basis. Non-metropolitan counties. Shire counties. A shire county is a non-metropolitan county that has multiple districts. Its name does not need to have shire in it. The term shire county is however unofficial. There are 28 such counties: Berkshire, Buckinghamshire, Cambridgeshire, Cumbria, Derbyshire, Devon, Dorset, East Sussex, Essex, Gloucestershire, Hampshire, Hertfordshire, Kent, Lancashire, Leicestershire, Lincolnshire, Norfolk, North Yorkshire, Northamptonshire, Nottinghamshire, Oxfordshire, Somerset, Staffordshire, Suffolk, Surrey, Warwickshire, West Sussex, Worcestershire. All, apart from Berkshire, have county councils. Sometimes, shire county is used to exclude Berkshire, because it has no county council. The counties have populations of 109,000 to 1.4 million. Under local government reforms coming into effect in 2009, the number of such counties was reduced. The non-metropolitan counties of Bedfordshire and Cheshire were split into 2 separate non-metropolitan counties respectively, while Cornwall, County Durham, Northumberland, Shropshire and Wiltshire became unitary authorities, each of a single district. Unitary authorities. Unitary authorities are areas with only one council. There are 55 in total. 49 are coterminous with a non-metropolitan county. Bath and North East Somerset, Bedford, Blackburn with Darwen, Blackpool, Bournemouth, Brighton and Hove, Bristol, Central Bedfordshire, Cheshire East, Cheshire West and Chester, Cornwall, Darlington, Derby, Durham, East Riding of Yorkshire, Halton, Hartlepool, Herefordshire, Isle of Wight, Kingston upon Hull, Leicester, Luton, Medway, Middlesbrough, Borough of Milton Keynes, North East Lincolnshire, North Lincolnshire, North Somerset, Northumberland, Nottingham, Peterborough, Plymouth, Poole, Portsmouth, Redcar and Cleveland, Rutland, Shropshire, South Gloucestershire, Southampton, Southend-on-Sea, Stockton-on-Tees, Stoke-on-Trent, Swindon, Telford and Wrekin, Thurrock, Torbay, Surrey, Warrington, Wiltshire, York. 43 of these are defined as counties with a single district council, and no county council. The other 6, the Isle of Wight, Cornwall, Durham, Northumberland, Shropshire and Wiltshire, are technically counties with a county council and no district councils, but the effect is the same. The 6 districts of Berkshire are unitary authorities, however they are not non-metropolitan counties, as the non-metropolitan county of Berkshire still exists, albeit without a county council. This is a unique situation. Exceptions in England. The Local Government Act 1972 created the system of metropolitan and non-metropolitan counties and districts, but specifically excluded 2 parts of England from the new system, a situation which exists to the present. London. Greater London was created in 1965 by the London Government Act 1963 as a sui generis administrative area consisting of 33 districts. No metropolitan or non-metropolitan counties or districts have ever existed in this area. The Greater London Council, established as an upper-tier local government for the area, was abolished in 1986 along with the metropolitan county councils. However, since 2000, Greater London, now a region of England named simply London, has had an elected assembly and mayor responsible for strategic local government. The London region also includes 2 counties for the purposes of lieutenancies: Greater London and the City of London. Isles of Scilly. The Isles of Scilly are, like Greater London, not covered by the system of metropolitan and non-metropolitan counties. The Council of the Isles of Scilly remains a district council with county council powers and is therefore a sui generis unitary authority. Some functions, such as health and economic development, are shared with Cornwall Council, and the islands form part of the ceremonial county of Cornwall. History. The current system of metropolitan and non-metropolitan counties came into effect on 1 April 1974 and replaced the administrative counties and county boroughs, which were abolished at that time. Greater London was created in 1965 under separate legislation. In the 1990s, a new type of non-metropolitan county was created: the unitary authority, which combines the functions and powers of county and district. The existing non-metropolitan counties became known as shire counties to distinguish them from the unitary authorities. Local Government Act 1972. By the late 1960s, it had become obvious that the structure of local government in England and Wales needed reforming. Harold Wilson's Labour government set up the Redcliffe Maud Commission to produce proposals for wholesale reform. The report proposed that for most of England the 2-tier structure be abolished, and replaced with a system of 58 unitary authorities, which would generally ignore the previous administrative boundaries in favour of changes that made geographic sense: a total redrawing of the map. In the south of Lancashire, northeast of Cheshire and the Birmingham area, there would be 3 metropolitan areas, with 20 district authorities. These proposals were opposed by the Conservative Party opposition led by Edward Heath. They won the 1970 general election, and set to work defining their own scheme. This scrapped the concept of unitary authorities. The entire area of England and Wales was to be divided into uniform counties and districts. In England, the new divisions were to be largely modelled on the existing counties, with quite radical reforms put forward, even in some non-metropolitan areas. Despite reassurances from the government that nobody's loyalties were expected to change as a result of the local government reform, many changes did incur significant local opposition. Most of the radical changes were withdrawn. One aspect the government stood firm on was the mergers of small counties. Campaigns for the continuation of Rutland and Herefordshire were unsuccessful, although due to its special geographic circumstances, the Isle of Wight was permitted to retain a separate county council, as opposed to being reunified with its historic county of Hampshire. The Local Government Act was passed in 1972, and defined the English counties and metropolitan districts, but not the non-metropolitan districts. These were set by a boundary commission that had already begun work. The metropolitan counties were composed as follows: Merseyside, based around Liverpool, southwest Lancashire, along with the northern part of the Wirral Peninsula in Cheshire. Greater Manchester, the Manchester urban area along with many surrounding towns. South Yorkshire, based upon the Sheffield-Rotherham area in the West Riding of Yorkshire. Tyne and Wear, the Tyneside conurbation based on Newcastle upon Tyne in Northumberland, along with Sunderland in County Durham. West Midlands, Birmingham conurbation, including the Black Country and Coventry. West Yorkshire, Leeds Bradford area in the West Riding. Other significant changes were: Avon formed from northern Somerset, southern Gloucestershire, and Bristol and Bath. Cleveland formed from southern Durham and northern part of the North Riding, focusing on the Teesside conurbation along with Guisborough and Hartlepool. Cumbria was formed from Westmoreland, Cumberland and part of Lancashire and Yorkshire. Herefordshire and Worcestershire were merged into Hereford and Worcester. Humberside formed from eastern Yorkshire and northern Lincolnshire. Huntingdon and Peterborough was annexed by Cambridgeshire. Rutland was merged into Leicestershire as a district. Vale of Whitehorse, including Berkshire's former county town Abingdon, was ceded to Oxfordshire, as was the area around Wallingford and Didcot, now comprising the western half of the South Oxfordshire district. Bournemouth was moved from Hampshire to Dorset, to join its sister town of Poole. The changes were adopted by the Royal Mail for the purposes of postal addresses wherever they were able, with the notable exceptions of Hereford and Worcester and Greater Manchester. Humberside was divided for this purpose into North Humberside and South Humberside. Map 1974–1996 Abolition of Metropolitan County Councils in 1986. The county councils of the metropolitan counties and the Greater London Council were abolished by Margaret Thatcher's government following disputes with central government, but the counties themselves remained legally in existence. Local Government Act 1992. The 1990s led to the restoration of county boroughs under a new name, unitary authorities, which radically changed the administrative map of England. The changes were carried out in several waves. On 1 April 1995, the Isle of Wight became a single unitary authority. It had previously had a two-tier structure with an Isle of Wight County Council, Medina Borough Council and South Wight Borough Council. Also on this day, two small areas were ceded from Surrey and Buckinghamshire to Berkshire, giving it a border with Greater London. On 1 April 1996, the unpopular counties of Avon, Humberside and Cleveland were abolished and their former area divided into unitary districts. Also at this time, the city of York was expanded and separated from North Yorkshire. On 1 April 1997, the districts of Bournemouth, Darlington, Derby, Leicester, Luton, Milton Keynes, Poole, Portsmouth, Rutland, Southampton, Stoke-on-Trent and Swindon became unitary authorities. Also, the districts of Brighton and Hove were merged to form the new unitary authority of Brighton and Hove. On 1 April 1998, Blackburn with Darwen, Blackpool, Holton, Nottingham, Peterborough, Plymouth, Southend-on-Sea, Telford and Wrekin, Torbay, Thurrock and Warrington became unitary authorities. Also, the districts of Rochester upon Medway and Gillingham were merged to form the new unitary authority of Medway, and the county of Hereford and Worcester was abolished and replaced by the unitary authority of Herefordshire and the Shire County of Worcestershire. Berkshire was split into 6 unitary authorities, but not formally abolished. 2009 structural changes. In April 2009, the following changes were made to the non-metropolitan counties. The effect was that Bedfordshire and Cheshire became ceremonial counties that do not correspond to a non-metropolitan county of the same name.